Hello again, you're watching VNA News Daily Bulletin. Coming up next, we have your top stories. President Trần Đại Quang receives Brunei Prince Abdul Qawi. Photo exhibitions highlight President Ho Chi Minhs' ideological legacies. Vietnam's export value hits $53.1 billion in 4 months. State President Trần Đại Quang hosted a reception in Hanoi on May 18th for Brunei Prince Pengiran Muda Abdul Qawi and international business people who have been in Vietnam to explore investment opportunities in Thanh Hóa province.
At the reception, President Quang said Vietnam will create all favorable conditions for Brunei enterprises as well as international firms which wish to invest in the country. The President expressed his pleasure at the progress of the traditional friendship and multifaceted cooperation between Vietnam and Brunei in recent years, particularly in politics, economy, culture, sports, and education and training. However, he noted that the two sides need to further boost their collaboration in economy and trade, as it has failed to match potentials and expectations. The state leader applauded the working trip by the prince and entrepreneurs to Thanh Hóa province, which boasts rich natural resources, abundant laborers, and has high provincial competitive index. For his part, Prince Abdul Qawi mentions the fields Brunei has prioritized for investing in Vietnam and Thanh Hóa province in particular, namely energy, infrastructure, industrial parks, and clean energy.
State President Trần Đại Quang has requested the Vietnam Academy of Social Sciences to build a strong, competent staff that is able to address the country's theoretical and practical issues, thereby contributing further to national development.
Addressing a ceremony to mark Vietnam Science and Technology Day in Hanoi on May 18th, President Quang hailed the Academy's achievements as an important factor helping change the face of the Vietnamese social science sector. The President said social sciences have also helped protect and develop Marxism, Leninism, Ho Chi Minh City thoughts, as well as the guidelines and policies of the party and state, while affirming the development of the nation, national sovereignty and territorial integrity, and preserving cultural values. He required the Academy to increase studies on social scientific issues in all fields of the society in order to better the role of supplying advisory services to the party's Central Committee, the Politburo, and the Secretariat on building the party's documents, resolutions, and decrees. On the same day, President Trần Đại Quang paid a working visit to the Vietnam Academy of Science and Technology on the occasion of the Academy's 41st founding anniversary. President Quang affirmed that the party and state always pay attention to developing and boosting the application of science and technology, considering it one of the motivations for socio-economic development and national safeguarding. He suggested the Academy focus on developing spearhead scientific and technological fields which are critical to industrialization and modernization, and intensifying the application of advanced sciences and technologies in production and daily life.
Our program will continue with updates on the official visit to Russia by Prime Minister Nguyen Xuan Phuc. Stay tuned.
Prime Minister Phuc met with Speaker of the Federation Council of Upper House of Russia's Parliament, Valentina Matvienko, on May 17th. He said Vietnam and Russia should step up their legislative ties through the exchange of information and experience in lawmaking and supervision activities. He noted with pleasure rapid changes and the achievements Russian people have attained during national development, which are greatly attributable to the Federation Council led by Valentina Matvienko. Speaker Valentina Matvienko stressed the Russian Parliament's backing for the comprehensive strategic partnership with Vietnam. She said the legislative body has always approved agreements and recommendations of the Russian state and government about fostering multifaceted cooperation with Vietnam. Host and guests held that bilateral ties have made big strides across fields, and the two sides are implementing multiple strategic cooperation agreements, economically benefiting the two countries. The same day, Prime Minister Phuc visited Gazprom, one of the largest oil and gas companies in Russia. Gazprom's CEO Alexei Miller said, despite economic difficulties, the Russian state and government had created optimal conditions for the oil and gas sector, as well as collaboration with Vietnam in this field. Prime Minister Phuc emphasized that energy cooperation is one of the major pillars of the Vietnam-Russia Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. He said, the Vietnamese government always creates the best possible conditions for Russian businesses, including Gazprom, to operate in the country. He said he hoped that the group will increase the investment in traditional realms, while expanding its presence in new spheres such as petrochemistry and producing gas materials to power auto engines. While in Russia, Prime Minister Nguyen Xuan Phuc also visited the Vietnamese embassy, where he praised efforts of the diplomat and staff in beefing up relations between two countries.
On May 18th, Prime Minister Phuc attended a groundbreaking ceremony for dairy crop breeding and processing project in Moscow Oblast, invested by Vietnamese firm Trong Milk. The first phase of the project has an investment of $500 million. It is scheduled to begin operation in 2017. In the next 10 years, Trong Milk plans to invest $2.7 billion in this project, along with other foodstuff projects.
Now moving to other important news, the National Election Council convened its fifth session in Hanoi on May 18th to review preparations for the upcoming election, which is scheduled to take place this weekend. Chairwoman of the National Assembly and National Election Council Nguyễn Thị Kim Ngân said relevant agencies from central to grassroots levels have done a good job of setting up committees in charge of the election, publicizing lists of voters and holding meetings to help candidates canvassing for votes. They have also solved complaints and denunciations, stepped up communications, and geared up forces to ensure safety for the election day. In its report, the National Election Council office said final preparations are being made. Voters in some remote areas in Lai Châu, Khánh Hòa, and Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu provinces have already cast ballots. In the next few days, the Council should focus on finishing candidates' meetings with voters, readying material conditions for the general election, and guaranteeing security and order for the event. National Assembly deputies will be chosen at the same time as the deputies to all level People's Councils for the 2016 to 2021 tenure on May 22nd. The results of the election of deputies to the 14th National Assembly will be announced within 20 days after the election day. The Vietnam National Museum of History is hosting an exhibition on Viet Minh Front, an organization that united Vietnamese people from all social strata for the goal of national independence. Addressing the event, President of the Vietnam Fatherland Front Central Committee Nguyễn Thiện Nhân affirmed the Viet Minh Front as a bright symbol of the great national unity, in line with late President Ho Chi Minhs' thoughts of a national united front. On display at the show, held in celebration of late President Ho Chi Minh's birthday and the 75th founding anniversary of Viet Minh Front, are nearly 200 documents, pictures, and objects. It introduces the historical background for the establishment of the front and the role of late President Ho Chi Minh in the foundation of the organization. The exhibition provides an insight into the role the Viet Minh Front played in uniting the people in preparation for the August Revolution in 1945 and the resistance war against the French. It will last until August. Two exhibitions that center on President Ho Chi Minh's moral and ideological legacies are ongoing in Ho Chi Minh City. Let's take a look.
The exhibitions are part of a series of events marking the 126th birthday anniversary of President Ho Chi Minh and 105 years since the late president left the country to find the path for the country's independence. The photo exhibition on Nguyễn Huệ Street displays selected photos on the life and great contributions of the late president to the party's and the country's revolutionary course, as well as his moral and ideological legacies. The exhibitions will last until May 27th.
A festival opened in the central province of Nghệ An as part of activities to mark the birthday of President Ho Chi Minhs.
The Sand Village Festival offers an opportunity for visitors from across the country and international friends to understand more about the life and political career of President Ho Chi Minhs, who is the nation's preeminent hero and the world cultural celebrity. A festive atmosphere is overwhelming Kim Lin commune, Nam Dan district, the native land of the late president, with a wide range of events such as incense offering ceremonies at the Angkor Ho statue and the Kim Lin relic site, a parade, traditional games, film screenings, sporting events, photo exhibitions, and a beauty contest. The festival is also expected to have Nghệ An introduce the beauty of local landscapes and friendly people together with its rich culture.
The 7th General Meeting of the Memory of the World Committee for Asia and the Pacific is underway in Thừa Thiên Huế Province. Here is what participants got up to. Participants at the event said Vietnam highly appreciates the role of the UNESCO in support of the preservation of cultural heritages worldwide. They stressed the significance of the Memory of the World Committee for Asia and the Pacific, which was founded in 1992 by UNESCO to recognize and protect the world's documentary heritages from wars, natural disasters, and religious disparity. During the meeting that runs on May 18th to 21st, delegates will confer the preservation of documentary heritages of the world and the Asia-Pacific region and consider 16 nominations from 10 countries for the recognition as the Memory of the World Documentary Heritages in 2016. Among these is the Vietnamese nomination of Royal Literature on Huế Royal Architecture. Latest statistics released by the General Department of Customs show that Vietnam's export value in the first 4 months of 2016 reached $53.1 billion, representing a year-on-year increase of 6.5%.
Foreign direct investments, or FDI enterprises, contribute 70.1% to the total export earnings, equivalent to $37.2 billion. Up 10.3% compared to the same period last year. Hard currency owners still saw high growth in export turnover during the January-April period. Among those, mobile phones and components topped the list in terms of export value, with $11.3 billion. They were followed by garments and textile, with $6.85 billion. Computers, electronic products and components, with $5.04 billion, and footwear raking in $3.81 billion. Also, in the first 4 months of 2016, Vietnam imported $51.35 billion worth of products. FDI enterprise alone spent $30.55 billion on imports. A report by Ho Chi Minh City's Department of Labor, Invalids and Social Affairs shows that more than 41,400 new jobs were created in the southern largest economic hub in the first 4 months of 2016, a year-on-year increase of 0.49%.
The City Center for Forecasting Manpower Needs and Labor Market Information attributed the rise to the fact that many companies have been expanding their operations. Demand is high in the sectors of textile and garment, information technology, architecture, construction, real estate, transportation, and foreign trade. Highly skilled workers would be the great demand for the rest of the year. The manufacturing sector ranked first in terms of demand, with 29%, followed by consumer goods and retail, 16%, and banking, insurance, securities and finance, 12%. In March, demand for workers rose by 60% from the previous month and surged by 50% over January. The demand is likely to keep rising in the second and third quarters, with 80% of more than 370 survey companies said they plan to hire more staff than last year. Human resources are most sought after in the fields of sales, marketing, information and communications technology, and engineering.
And that was the end of our news bulletin. Thanks for tuning in. For more information, please log on to our website at www.vietnamplus.vn. We'll see you soon.